When we think of Jesus' disciples, we usually think about the 12 disciples whom Jesus chose to be with him during his ministry here on earth. We know their names because they are written down for us in the Bible. But how much do we really know about them? Today we're going to take a quick look at each one of the 12 disciples and see what we can learn about them. Peter. Peter was one of the first disciples that Jesus called. He was a fisherman by trade, and he, along with his brother Andrew, would go out to fish in the Sea of Galilee. When Jesus called him, he was in the process of casting out a net. So Jesus said to him, "Follow me, and you shall become fishers of men." And Peter did just that. After leaving his old life, he became a leader in the church and even the rock upon which Jesus would build his church. Andrew. Andrew was Peter's brother and also one of the first disciples that Jesus called. He, too, was a fisherman by trade. James, son of Zebedee. James was one of the 3 disciples whom Jesus took with him on the Mount of Transfiguration, and also one of the 3 that were present at the raising of Lazarus from the dead. James became the leader of the church in Jerusalem after the Ascension. He was known for being very zealous for God, so much so that he was called James the Greater or James the Just. John. John was the youngest of the disciples and the son of Zebedee and the brother of James, the son of Zebedee. He was known as the disciple whom Jesus loved and was the author of several books in the New Testament, including the Gospel of John, 1 John, 2 John, and Jude. Philip. Philip was the one who asked Jesus to show them the Father, and he was the one who helped to bring Nathanael to Jesus. Philip is also known for getting upset over the idea that there wasn't enough food to feed the multitude, but he learned a valuable lesson about trusting Jesus when Jesus miraculously fed 5,000 people with only 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Bartholomew. Bartholomew is another name for Nathanael. He was initially reluctant to believe in Jesus, saying, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" But after Jesus told him about how he saw him under the fig tree, Nathanael believed and became a disciple. Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector before becoming a disciple. Tax collectors were looked down upon by the Jewish people because they often took advantage of their position and charged more than they were supposed to. But Jesus saw Matthew and said, "Follow me," and he left everything to follow Jesus. Matthew became the author of the Gospel of Matthew and one of the leaders of the church in the city of Antioch. Thomas. Thomas did unbelieve that Jesus had risen from the dead until he saw the nail-pierced hands and feet of Jesus. For this reason, he is sometimes called Doubting Thomas. But despite his doubts, Thomas confessed, "My Lord and my God." This shows us that even when we doubt, we can still have faith in Jesus. James, son of Alphaeus. Not much is known about James, son of Alphaeus, but it is believed that he was the brother of Joseph, who was the husband of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Lebbois. Lebbois is another name for Thaddeus. He is the one who asked Jesus, "Rabbi, what is it we must do to perform God's works?" And Jesus answered him, "This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent." Simon the Cananean. Simon the Cananean was probably a member of the tribe of Simeon and is believed to be the same person as Simon the Zealot. The Zealots were a political party that wanted freedom from Roman rule. This may explain why Simon later became a leader in the church in the city of Jerusalem. Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot is the disciple that many of us remember for betraying Jesus. He was the one that gave Jesus up to the religious leaders and soldiers for 30 pieces of silver. After realizing what he had done, Judas tried to give the money back, but it was too late. Betrayed by one of his closest friends, Jesus was crucified. But after Jesus rose from the dead, Judas hung himself. Each one of these men had a unique personality and background, yet they all had one thing in common. They were willing to follow Jesus. If you are a believer, then you too are called to follow Jesus. Are you doing that right now in your life? If not, it's time to get back on the path. Remember, the Lord is worthy to be followed. Don't forget to share this video with someone today. Until next time, walk good, love God, like and subscribe.